Hey folks, it's Farmer Marshall. I'm not cheap, I'm frugal. Do you want to grow a lush garden without draining your wallet? Stick around and I'll show you how to save some serious cash using simple tricks that anyone can do. Now come on, let's go make your garden thrive on a budget. Propagate what you already have. Take air layers from, like say, a fruit tree, or maybe take a cutting from this fig tree that I have here, or this fig cutting that I have here. You can also take cuttings from different fruit or vegetable plants. Like tomato plants and basil plants are so easy. I did some last year and I was able to take one plant and make 5 more. It's just that easy. I just stuck them in water and let them root for about 10 to 15 days. By then, those plants were ready to go onto the ground. You can take the root base of plants like celery, lettuce, bok choy and leeks, and even onions, and plant those and regrow them. All from the grocery store. All stuff that you probably already have at home. You can grow your own sweetener. Yeah, sugarcane. It's so easy. You just take cuttings with maybe 2 or 3 nodes, plant them in dirt, keep it well watered, and sure enough, eventually you will have sugarcane growing. It's that easy. Yeah, I said sugarcane, so I guess I'm gonna have to do a video on how to plant this to grow. Make your own fertilizer. I have a 3-bin composting system. Now, everyone doesn't have space for it, but if you do, you can often make those from using recyclable pallets. Just connect them together and you can have your own composting system. Now, if you don't have room for something like that, you can also compost in something like a plastic trash can with a lid on it. It can be that easy. And if you have absolutely no place for a composting system, you can actually compost in ground. All you have to do is dig a trench 10 to 12 inches deep, pour in your food scraps like cabbage, banana peels, apple peels, all sorts of stuff. You can just pour it in a trench, cover it up, and it will break down and feed your soil. And that's really the whole idea about composting. You want to feed your soil. You can also make fertilizer by making a worm bin. Now, they aren't too difficult, but if you'd like me to do a video on it, just put it in the comments. I'll put out a video on it within the next 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah. Now, if you have livestock like cows, chicken, rabbit, or quail, you can use the manure and make fertilizer. Now, some of it does need to be composted, but things like rabbit manure, I believe that's a cold manure. So you can put that directly on your garden and feed your soil. The rest of it, you really need to compost it for, I would say, at least 3 months, maybe even 6 months. Grow your vegetables from seed. That's one of the biggest ways to save money in the garden. Now, those little seed packets might have enough seeds to plant 20 plants, but you might only need 3 or 4 plants. But you're going to be able to grow so many seeds for sometimes only $2 a package. Whereas opposed, you might buy a plant, like I saw the other day, one plant was $4.99. One plant. You can buy 2 packs of seed for that amount. It's ridiculous. Now, some seeds are a little more difficult. Seeds like tomatoes and pepper seeds, generally I grow those indoors. But you need a heat mat and grow lights and seed starting trays. Now, one thing about seed starting trays, I save seed starting trays from starts that I bought from previous years. This might be 3 or 4 years old. All free. That one-time startup cost is for something that you're not going to have to replace anytime soon. So I would buy that instead of buying the vegetables themselves. Now, I know we're trying to save some money in a gardening, but plant a fruit tree. It might cost you $20, it might cost you $50, depending on what you're buying, it might cost you $100. But once that fruit tree starts producing, like this $30 apple tree here, it's going to produce maybe in a year or 2. One key thing with buying a fruit tree is to be patient. The more patient you are, the more money you can save. Now, I've shopped online for fruit trees before, and one thing I notice is generally you'll find your smaller fruit trees cost less. You can buy a bare root fruit tree, it might cost you $25, $30, but if you buy the 6-foot fruit tree, it might cost you $80, $90, or $100. But the main thing is, if you're patient, you can buy the smaller tree for a much smaller price, and you just have to be patient and wait until the tree produces. Reuse things around your house as structures for your garden. You can always take an old tree branch that you cut off and stick it in the ground to tie up your tomato plant. Or you can even make a trellis out of a bigger tree branch. Replant ginger or garlic that you bought from the grocery store. Do you realize that one garlic that you bought from the grocery store might produce 8 different cloves that you can plant and make much more garlic from that? You'll have garlic for life if you keep redoing that. Use the cut and come again harvesting method on leafy vegetables like lettuce, collard greens, kale, mustard greens, and even basil. I've used that method instead of the old way that I used to do when I would harvest the entire plant. If you use the cut and come again harvesting method, the plant will continue to grow and producing for you. It's a great way to get a second or even third harvest off of different plants. Hey folks, it's starting to rain, so I'm halfway through this video, so do me a favor. Share out the harvest of this video to your family and friends. Plant a seed and hit that like button. As a gardener, my greatest harvest is you, so hit that subscribe button and get a greater harvest if you hit that notification bell. That way you'll be here the next time I have a video coming out. Now I'm going to come back in a minute or maybe tomorrow and finish up this video because this is about thunderstorm. Hey folks, I'm about halfway through the list. So when you finish, share it out on YouTube and share it out to members of your gardening community. And plant a seed and hit that like button. Also, don't forget, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be here next time I have something going on in the garden. Now let's get back to the list. Well, the rain's over, so let's get back to the list. Now here's a special one. Extend the life of your plants, not just for this season, but for next season. Some plants like pepper plants can be overwintered. And all you do is you reduce the size of the plant. Take most of the leaves, well, all of the leaves off. Take off most of the stems and maybe leave a wide stem up top. Then you dig it out your garden, get rid of the dirt, put it in a pot with fresh dirt, and put it in a cool place with maybe a little bit of light. And maybe you can maintain a temperature at 50 to 65 degrees. You can put it in a garage, or I could put it in a greenhouse if this one was heated. But find a place where it's not a high temperature. But you also don't want a temperature that's going to make it stress out because it's freezing. Some pepper plants will survive, not all of them, but if you have enough plants, why not give it a shot? It's worth having free pepper plants. And you can do this not just for 1 year, not just for 2 years, but you can do this for multiple years. Great way to start your season out with brand new old plants. Another great tip is to reuse things around the house. Now, when we put in our muscadine plant, I was thinking about using a trellis, but instead I stuck it in the corner of my garden, and now, well, take a look and see. The trellis is going to the left, it's going over to the right, and it's produced massive amounts of muscadines. Now, I know you might be thinking, doesn't even a trellis have to be high? No, this trellis or this fence is maybe 4 feet high. That's all. And here's something you're probably already doing, but then again, maybe not. Take garlic from the grocery store, onions, and ginger. Replant them. One little garlic clove could give you enough garlic to have plants for the rest of the year, because you can take those cloves and replant those. Now here's something I always find kind of fun. When I install my spring summer garden, or when I install my fall winter garden, I always keep my eye out for volunteer plants. Now right now I have about 8, maybe 10 watermelon plants that I didn't even plant this year, because I had some watermelons that went bad last year and their seeds were left on the ground and they didn't grow up in fall and winter. No, they started to grow in the spring. So as I was taking out all my old fall and winter plants, I kept my eye out. And honestly, I wasn't even looking, but I noticed something was there and it wasn't a weed. So I just dug it up, put it in a little cup with some extra dirt, gave it some water, and waited to see what it turned out to be. And I'm used to my watermelons, so I knew what it looked like once it got like 4 leaves on it. Great way to not even buy more watermelon plants because I have more than I even need. A similar thing happened with my mustard plants. Although I must admit, these volunteer plants showed up in like July. But I just kept my garden along and left those plants there. And when I got rid of my spring summer garden, I took those muscadines or I took those mustard plants and spread them around my garden on the side of the house. And I had probably about 15 mustard plants, all for free. I didn't have to buy a plant. I didn't have to buy seeds. I just spread out what came up naturally. I know I mentioned earlier that you can start your garden from seed to save money, but did you realize there are ways that you can get free seeds or maybe even free plants? Your local library might have a seed library, not just books, but seeds. Also, sometimes there are county events where they have seeds or free plants or even free trees. At the very least, it's worth a Google search. So take a look around. You might be surprised what you find. And even if you don't find free seeds at your local library or a county event, you might find their gardening groups that share seeds and plants. Now me, I have more than enough tomato plants because I planted from seed. But the plants I have left over, I'm just going to give away. I have family members, I have friends that will want some plants. Easy way to get plants. Find your local garden community. I know nowadays it seems like everything costs an arm and a leg, but hopefully I've saved you some money because I'm not cheap, I'm frugal. Now let's get out there and get a little dirty.